Destiny because the rumors about them being more than friends are not new. From the very beginning, people noticed the closeness between them. Destiny has been around Martell a lot, and she has shown loyalty to him in ways that raise eyebrows, especially since she and Melody were once such close friends. Think about it. Destiny and Melody were supposed to be good friends, but when everything went down between Melody and Martell, who did Destiny stay close to? Martell. That alone made people start whispering that maybe something deeper was going on. And it wasn't just fans noticing. Even in the conversations online and among the cast, people have brought it up. The way Destiny defends Martell, the way she shows up for him, it makes you wonder if there is more to their bond than just friendship. And here's the thing that really gets people talking. Martell was the one who took Destiny to the gun range when she was allegedly going through issues with LeBarric. Think about that for a moment. Of all the people Destiny could lean on, of all the people she could ask for support, it was Martell who stepped in. He didn't just talk to her, he physically showed up, took her to the range, and helped her learn how to protect herself. That's not the kind of thing most men do for just a casual friend. That's personal, that's protective, that's intimate. And honestly, when you hear that, you start to think, maybe Martell and Destiny had already crossed lines before, maybe there was already trust and closeness between them, and this was just another moment where that bond showed itself. Now, the big question is, if Martell and Destiny are more than just friends, what does that mean for the bigger picture? Martell has been connected to other women, including Arian, and of course, we can't forget about Melody, his ex-wife. Melody has her own strong story with Martell, and fans are always going to connect her to anything involving him. But Destiny's role here is so unique because she was once in Melody's inner circle, so if she really did cross that line with Martell, what does that say about loyalty? What does that say about friendship? It's a huge betrayal if true, and that's why people can't stop speculating. Let's not forget LeBarric, Destiny's ex-husband. He and Martell were supposed to be childhood friends. They had history, they had a bond that went way back. But then, out of nowhere, LeBarric just slid out of the picture. He didn't make a big exit, he didn't go back and forth with Martell publicly, he just disappeared from the spotlight. Doesn't that seem strange to you? If you think about how Martell argues with so many people, like how he and Melody go back and forth, or how he and others on the show have clashed, it doesn't make sense that LeBarric would leave so quietly unless something serious happened behind the scenes. Something had to happen to break that friendship. And when you look at the timing, it lines up perfectly with all the rumors about Martell and Destiny. And here's where the theory gets stronger. People have said, maybe LeBarric caught Destiny and Martell in the act. Maybe he walked in on something he wasn't supposed to see. If that really happened, it would explain everything. It would explain why he left Love and Marriage Huntsville so suddenly. It would explain why his friendship with Martell ended so abruptly. It would explain why Destiny continued to stick by Martell even after her own marriage fell apart. If she and Martell were secretly involved, then of course she would stay loyal to him because their bond went beyond friendship. And let me just say this, if something like that really did happen, don't you think it would have made an amazing storyline for the show? Think about it. Love and Marriage. Huntsville thrives on drama. The producers are always looking for big, shocking stories to keep people watching. If Martell and Destiny were really caught together, that would have been explosive. So why wasn't it used? Maybe because it was too real. Maybe because the people involved didn't want it out there. Maybe because it could ruin too many relationships at once. That's why fans believe there's something being hidden, something that hasn't been fully revealed. Now, let's talk about Destiny herself. A lot of people think she is down for Martell no matter what. They say she's loyal to him, she sticks by his side, and she's willing to risk friendships to stay close to him. That's a big statement, and it shows just how much she might care for him. Some people even say that if Destiny were to get her money up, Martell would be all in with her. Think about that for a second. Martell has been connected to women before, but if Destiny could match his lifestyle, if she could bring something to the table financially, maybe Martell would finally see her as more than just a backup option. Maybe he would really commit. What do you think? Could that happen? Let me know in the comments, because I know people have strong opinions about Martell's choices. And speaking of choices, we have to bring Melody back into the conversation. Melody and Destiny were once close, But when Destiny chose to stick with Martell, it was a huge slap in the face to Melody. She had to feel betrayed. Imagine being friends with someone, sharing personal details with them, and then realizing they are closer to your ex-husband than to you. That's painful. That's hurtful. And that's why so many people feel like Melody has every right to keep her distance. But here's the question. Did Melody know about Destiny and Martell? Did she suspect they were sneaky links? Was she aware of what was going on behind her back? Because if she was, that would explain a lot about why their friendship ended the way it did. Now, Letitia and Kimmy also come into play. Destiny herself has said that if it weren't for Martell, she wouldn't have known Letitia or Kimmy and she wouldn't have been on the show. Notice what she didn't say. She didn't say if it weren't for Melody, she wouldn't be on the show. That's telling. That shows where her loyalty lies. She gave credit to Martell, not Melody, and that little detail says a lot about the bigger picture. If she's acknowledging Martell as the reason she's on the show, then it makes sense why she would continue to stand by him no matter what. And here's another interesting piece. People have noticed that Destiny's court case looked very similar to Martell's. The way things played out, the way arguments were made, it looked like Martell might have been coaching her. Was he giving her advice on what to do? Was he teaching her how to handle the system the way he handled his own? That's a level of involvement that goes beyond friendship. That's personal. That's intimate. And if that's true, then Destiny is more than just a friend. She's someone Martell is actively protecting and guiding. Now, here's where it gets even juicier. Linda and others have said that they believe Martell and Destiny were smashing during both of their marriages. If that's true, then everything starts to make sense. If they were already sneaky links back then LeBarric finding out would explain why he and Martell are no longer friends. It would explain why LeBarric left the show. It would explain why Destiny sticks by Martell no matter what. It ties everything together. But of course, it's still speculation. We don't have hard proof. That's why I'm asking you, do you think it's true? Do you think Martell and Destiny were messing around during their marriages? Drop your opinion in the comments, because I know this is a hot topic. And let's not forget, there was even talk that someone on the show hinted at Martell and Destiny being more than friends. People have claimed that it was mentioned last season, but it didn't get the spotlight it deserved. If the cast knew, if they were aware, then it makes sense why there's so much tension behind the scenes. It makes sense why certain friendships broke apart. And it makes sense why Destiny has struggled with her place on the show. The thing about Martell is he has a pattern. He gets close to people, he builds trust, and then things come out that shock everyone. With Arian, it was the long-term affair. With Melody, it was the public breakdown of their marriage. And now with Destiny, it's the speculation that they were sneaky links all along, and every time it leaves people divided. Some fans support him, some are angry at him, and some just want to know the truth. So, let me ask you, if it really came out that Martell and Destiny were together, would you be surprised? Or do you already believe it's true? And do you think Martell would leave Arian, also known as Coleslaw, for Destiny?